Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. That's right. I am Ace, but tonight, for some reason, I decided to keep my name as Alfred Clifford, even though there's a kind of a backstory behind that, but I'm not going to go ahead and get into that because this is about sports tonight. But before we go ahead and jump into our open forum night, I do want to welcome in the individuals that we're with here tonight. And, of course, we have J-Mac, the bearded one. How are you doing tonight, J-Mac?
Good. Yeah, it's nice and warm. That's a good day.
All right, and then, of course, he's back. He's the man, the myth,
Back
the
again.
legend, the one that we call him Chris P. Bacon. How you doing tonight, my man?
Doing good. How's everybody doing tonight?
You know what? Fantastic, but I will tell you what, it is hot. It is hot tonight. And yes, Mr. Davis Sparza, that's right. It is Saturday night, and you, sir, know exactly what that means. That simply means open forum night. So if anybody wants to kind of throw in there what they want us to talk about, let us know. Throw a topic out there. Because we like to keep this going. We like to keep it flowing. But even though we have certain topics that, of course, I like to talk about when I come into it, I'm sure Chris has something to talk about. And I'm sure even J-Mac has something that he wants to talk about too. But when it comes down to it, of course, J-Mac, when we get this kicked off, we're going to get this kicked off right. And you know exactly what I mean by that. Because you know that about a week ago, we lost this man on our Atlanta Braves team known as Ronald Acuna. All right, and we're sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, we are in so much trouble now because we lost this guy." But I'll tell you what, we have now actually made some good trades. I like the trade in Jock Peterson. I think that's going to be a great addition. I'm still I'm okay with the trade for Voit too. I'm kind of okay with that. I know he's not like a big time guy, but because Darno's out, we still need another guy. But J-Mac, what is your thoughts on both these trades?
I'm definitely more up on the Peterson trade than on the Voigt trade. I think that catcher, we're just trying to throw things out there. We're on like our 6th or 7th catcher of the year.
Oh, yeah, we have been hurting for catchers for a while. So we're like, you know what? Let's go out. Let's get a Stephen Voigt. Let's try him. Even though, and Chris, let me ask you this. Do you know where Stephen Voigt came from? He came from the worst team in the MLB,
Diamondbacks.
in the Arizona Diamondbacks. He came from the Diamondbacks. And so when you look at Stephen Voigt's overall average, he was batting like a 222. I think he had like 11 home runs at the time. He wasn't really hitting all that great.
But that's not all you look at in a catcher, though.
No. I'm not talking about. But you want to look at the amount of runners he's thrown out, and I completely understand that. Out of 30 people that ran on him, he's thrown out 10. So it's a better percentage than what we have right now. I'll tell you that.
And more than that, like Kevin Smith. So this is going to sound weird, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this. Kevin Smith has been our best catcher since Darno went down. Defensively, he's been our best catcher.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know what is so weird that I never thought I would ever say about this? And J-Mac, I've never been a fan of this guy for a long time because I said last year when Tyler Flowers came out and said, you know what, I'm retiring, I'm walking away, and I said, oh, thank God Tyler Flowers is gone. Well, I'll tell you what, right now, we're hurting, and we could use Tyler Flowers about right now. I came out before and I said I never liked the guy. Well, I'm eating my words right now because we could definitely use a little bit of Tyler Flowers right now.
No doubt. I'll tell you what, Tyler Flowers might have gone out and hit, he'd be one of those guys that would go out and hit 190 on the season. Didn't hit very good. Maybe hit 5 or 6 home runs. Maybe drove in 20, 25 runs a year. He's not going to go out and put up numbers. You know the one thing that Tyler Flowers did that we need help with right now?
Defense.
His throwout percentage was over 50% on steals. And
absolutely.
Past balls, his percentage is one of the best ever as far as balls getting past him. So defensively, we can use Tyler Flowers right now. No doubt.
Yeah, and I thought that, but it's like I said, because we kind of gone back and forth a little bit about that, because you had said how you kind of enjoyed Tyler Flowers a little bit as a veteran presence behind home plate when he would alternate with Darno. But I told you my problem with it last year was when Darno was healthy, but they're still taking Flowers and they're still putting them out there, and I'm like, why are they platooning when Darno's healthy? And then towards the end of the season, they said, hey, now we're going to go with Darno because he is the better catcher. He is healthy. And now we're in the situation to where I'm like, crap, okay, maybe Tyler Flowers should have stayed one more year as that veteran. So,
because, we called up Wilson Contreras' brother William. That went awesome.
Yeah, that worked out great. It's worked out great with Lucroy.
That is one of the worst signings we've made. I'm sorry. And
Lucroy used to be a big name. He used to be.
For his offense, he was never good defensively. Go back and watch tape if you think he was, because he was never good defensively. It was all about the offense with Lucroy, and now he can't hit, and he still can't field. He still can't play defense, and now he can't hit. So, like I said, Kevin Smith, the one guy, when they traded for him, I'm not gonna lie, I'm like, who the hell is Kevin Smith?
Right.
And now all of a sudden he comes out and he's our everyday catcher because he's been better than anyone else that we've thrown out there since Darno.
And you know what? But to get Stephen Voigt, we didn't give up a lot. So I was okay with that. I'm like, we really didn't give up anything. And then to go out and get Jock Peterson away from the Cubs, all we gave away was Bell, our first base Bell. And let me tell you what, I wasn't even angry about it because I'm like, we have freaking Freddie Freeman, and Freddie Freeman isn't going anywhere. So why the heck would it matter if we traded away our first baseman that's in AAA? Who cares?
Well, and you have not more than that. You also by bringing in Jock Peterson, you also have a guy that can play first. Like, he's an outfielder, but he can play first if Freddie Freeman gets hurt. You can move him to first base. And
you have Sandoval, though, too. You have
Sandoval. And if you need to, I mean, in the end, very last scenario that you need to, Riley can also play first. You can move him to first, and, you have infielders that can play third base. So, not nearly as good as Riley will be defensively. However...
Okay, talking about Riley on the defensive side, man, he's actually one of the worst third basemen in baseball. He can stop, but man, he is not accurate when he throws the ball.
His throws need to stop, but he's made some good stops this year and others. But offensively, I'm glad his bat's come around. I'm glad last year wasn't a one-year fluke, to be honest, with Austin Riley.
All right, so Chris, we haven't got your thoughts on this yet because we know you're that lowly Rangers fan that's kind of sitting and kind of that last place that I don't think they're going to be getting out of last place anytime soon. But you know what? If you want, though, you can go ahead and just kind of give us a little rundown about, right now about what the Rangers got going on or whatever. And
well, I know. Let's see, Friday they lost their game 6-12 or something like that. It was a high-scoring game. And Gallo looks like to be on the trading block. We're not sure right now. It's a few weeks until the trading deadline. But right now he's a Ranger, but it doesn't look like he's going to be there for long. So.
No, it's right around that time now to where the teams are going to either choose, we're either buyers or sellers. And the thing is that surprised me when we talk about the the buyers or sellers. Does it surprise me that the Diamondbacks made a trade? No. Does it surprise me that the Cubs made a trade? Yeah, it kind of does, especially trading Jock Peterson. That was like the biggest shock for me. I wasn't expecting the Cubs to want to make a deal because they're kind of in it. They're kind of in that race in the Central. So that's why it kind of surprised me that they were going to go out there and make a trade like that. So, J-Mac, I'm going to ask you, did it actually surprise you that the Cubs were actually willing to make a trade?
I mean, yeah, I think for a guy like Jock Peterson, I thought maybe they'd trade some prospects around. Maybe Kimbrel would have ended up trading away if they could get the right pieces for him. But it kind of surprised me that Jock Peterson was on the board and for next to nothing, really. That was probably more surprising than anything. I hear that Chris Bryant's on the board, too. That one's shocking as well. Mm-hmm. But, again, you're a Chicago Cubs team. You're a small market team. You don't have the money that a Chicago White Sox team has on the other side of town. You're going to have to move pieces because you got a lot of payroll. A lot of payroll.
Yeah, and so that's why I was saying number one, though, it's still I even know some Cubs fans that were like, why are we doing that? Like, why are we making that trade after we go out and get a Jock Peterson? Why make a trade like that when you're in the thick of things? If you're going to make a trade, you would think that the Cubs would make a trade to better themselves, to give them a better push towards the top spot in the Central. But that's not what they did.
Well, here's what I'll say. I'll say that everyone that I know of that's an Atlanta Braves fan was way down on the general manager, Anthony Anthopoulos, I believe is how you say his last name. And
Antonopoulos, yeah.
Yes. Everyone was like, man, this guy sucks. He sucks as a GM. He won't bring any pieces in. We didn't do anything. And then what's he do? He goes out and gets a Jock Peterson, who in his first hit with Atlanta hits a 2-run homer over the Atlanta bullpen, by the way. Brings him in. And do you know how much we have to pay him this year?
Yeah, we really don't have to pay him much. We actually don't have to pay him much of anything because the Cubs are taking on pretty much his contract.
Nothing. We have to pay him not exactly zero. We have to pay him a roster bonus of $125,000 for the rest of the season.
Yeah, but it was still, when you look at it, it was a great deal for us. Yeah.
We're getting a rental player because he's a free agent after this year, so he probably won't re-sign in Atlanta, and that's okay. We're getting a rental player to make up for part of Ronald Acuna Jr.'s production for the last 72 games of the year for $125,000. Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying. That was a great pickup by the GM. And what did we give away? Bryce Ball.
Right, exactly. Right. Bryce Ball. That's it.
I mean, let's face it, a kid who's hitting well in AAA. I don't want. Right, no, but I don't want to sit here and say that he's not going to be something because he could. I mean, the kid is hitting over 300, and he does have 11 home runs at the AAA level this year, so he has had a good season in AAA. But the fact that you're not giving up much to get that, and then $125,000 roster bonus, definitely is worth the rest of the season.
Yeah. All right. So jumping away from this for a second because we have Justin dropping in some comments here, and I know you guys aren't really big on the NBA side, but you know what? That's okay. When we talk about it, hey, Callan, how is it going tonight? I hope that you are having a fantastic night. And he says, how we doing, fellas? Just finished up a 13-hour announcing day. Man, that sounds like
wow.
If you were announcing for 13 hours, man, congrats, man. That's a long day of announcing.
Marathon.
I really hope your throat isn't too sore, man. Like that's intense. But
that's what she said.
But going into this say game.
Oh, sorry, that was Four Bros. That's not Sportsminute. My bad.
You're good. So we're going to go in and talk about the Game 5 that happened tonight. Going into Game 5, the Suns and the Bucks were tied at 2 games each. I think so many people, and including myself, when you watched Trey and myself on Speak Out, I came out and I said, you know what? I still had the Suns in 6. I did. I had the Suns in 6 because I seriously didn't think that the Bucks were going to have a chance. But I did say that if they were going to win 2 games, that they were going to have to win in game 3, because if they would have went down 3-0, it would have been over. But the Bucks came out game 5. They looked really good, and they actually were able to take the series lead 3-2. Giannis is looking great. Middleton is looking fantastic, and Holiday stepped up tonight. And I'll tell you what, this Bucks team is surprising a lot of people. They're definitely surprising me. So at this point, Crispy Bacon, I'm going to start with you. I don't remember. Did you say you had the Suns or the Bucks?
I think I had the Suns winning.
I think pretty much everybody
I thought I was
did.
close too. I mean, it was 2-0, and then Milwaukee had a game up lead on one game, and then they came back and won the other 2.
Well, the first 2 games, from what I saw from the Suns in the first 2 games, I said, okay, it's over, because I thought that Chris Paul and Devin Booker and Bridges and Crowder and Ayton, I was like, this team's going to be way too much, and I didn't think that the Bucks were going to have enough, but the Bucks were able to really battle back in game 3, get that victory, win in game 4, and then come out and surprise everybody again in game 5 and get another victory. So, J-Mac, I'm going to jump to you on this. Have the Bucks actually surprised you with how well they've been playing against the Suns?
Yeah, but I think, going back and look at some of their tape, because I don't really watch the regular season. I'll admit that. I don't really catch a lot of it. I'll catch some Spurs games just because that's my team and I want to see how they're doing. But I didn't watch a lot during the regular season. I go back and watch them, and when they play good defense, when Drew Holiday, and I'm glad Justin brought that up. Nice to see you, Justin, in the comment section there. He does play great defense, and when he can lock down your top scorer on your other team, which he did multiple times this year, the Bucks are going to win some games. It doesn't matter how many they're scoring on the other side. They really remind me of when they have, because they have such a great defender in Drew Holiday. They really, and I know I'm going to sound like a homer, but they really remind me of the time when you had Duncan and Parker and Ginobili in San Antonio, because it was great defense and a little bit of offense, and that's how they won the games. So they really remind me of that team. Justin, Giannis Antetokounmpo ring will be worth more than KD, Kawhi, and LeBron after Game 6. I don't know.
No. Here's why, though. Here's why. And I see where Justin's going with this, because if you look at this Bucks team, he doesn't really have any of those superstars around him. That's why when you think about it, it's going to be worth a little bit more. And then they would have even gone through a Suns team that everybody thought, quite frankly, was going to come in and roll.
I understand. Okay. And I'm not denying that. But let me ask you. So you say that Antetokounmpo doesn't have anyone around him, right?
I said he doesn't have those clear superstars like you would consider.
Who's a superstar on the Suns? I don't consider Devin Booker a superstar. Devin Booker, he hasn't played long enough.
People would probably consider Devin Booker superstar. Some would.
Some people would. Me personally, I wouldn't. I don't think he's played long enough in the league to get that yet. I think that. So all I'm saying is, you look at the Suns team. They have Chris Paul. As far as like a big name in the league, they have Chris Paul. Then you go to the Bucks, they have Giannis Antetokounmpo, a big name. Okay, then you start going through the pieces. The Bucks have Chris Middleton, who has been a very solid player all of his career. All of his career, he's been a solid player. That's why they pay him as much as they pay him. And then you go and you look at Drew Holiday and how well he plays on the defensive side of the ball. Again, another one of those players that could start for any team in this league, and just like these other guys. So, again, I get that Devin Booker might be considered a superstar, but I don't think he's quite at that elite status yet.
No, but basically what I think Justin is going at here is when he's talking about the guys who have won rings. So you're talking about, a Kevin Durant that's been with Klay Thompson. He's been with a Draymond Green. He's been with a Steph Curry. And then you go to a Kawhi Leonard who, got a ring with San Antonio, but kind of did his own little thing when he won a ring with the Raptors. There was really not really huge stars on that team, but he was able to win a ring there. And then you even go to LeBron James, which we don't even have to get into that because, he won rings with big names too, with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. And so I think that that's where he's getting it, is that this ring is going to definitely mean more.
I will give him every single one of those except Kawhi Leonard. And I can't stand Kawhi Leonard. I'm not a Kawhi Leonard fan for what he did to San Antonio. Not at all. And there's no redemption for him, for me, with Kawhi Leonard. I'm not a Kawhi Leonard fan, but the only reason I'm saying that ring doesn't mean more than Kawhi Leonard's did is because you alluded to it. He pretty much single-handedly won the finals for the Toronto Raptors. He had a couple of good players, not great players, not elite players, good players, and he pretty much single-handedly won that. He's the only one in that list that can say that. And if Giannis Antetokounmpo does the same thing, he's got some good players, some solid players behind him, but nobody great. So I think they're on the same level on that one. Now, the one he won in San Antonio, he still had Duncan at the end of his career. He had Parker. He had Ginobili. That one, yeah, he had a super team, hands down, and I'll give you that one. But I think that the one that Kawhi won in Toronto still is on the same level with Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, the one thing I will say though too is that when we actually look at that Warriors when the Raptors were able to beat the Warriors, the one thing you have to look at there, and I'm not disputing anything you're saying, but the one thing I'm saying is you have to look at that Warriors team and realize, who were they missing there? Kevin Durant got hurt, Klay Thompson was out, Draymond Green wasn't exactly healthy. So basically at that point you had a Kawhi Leonard and a Curry. That's basically what you had at that point with these two teams battling out because everybody else on the Warriors was pretty much hurt. Kevin Durant was gone.
No doubt.
Thompson was gone.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that at all. But I'm saying that Kawhi Leonard didn't have that super team either, and neither did the Warriors. Either team that won that championship that year, either one of those guys would have been MVP of the finals, whether it was Stephen Curry and Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi Leonard won it, and he was MVP. That's because they were the best two players on the court. They went head-to-head, and the better player in that particular series prevailed. I'm not saying he's a better player in his career or he's a better shooter than Leonard than Curry before anybody comes on here and is like, you're saying that. No, I'm not. I am not saying that. What I'm telling you is for that particular series, Kawhi Leonard was a better player and he won the finals and won the finals MVP self-deservedly. That's all I'm saying. In that list that he put out, he's the only one in that situation that I could say the ring doesn't mean more for Antetokounmpo than it did for Kawhi Leonard in that one situation.
All right, Chris, so give me your thoughts on this. Do you think this ring for Antetokounmpo would mean more than basically the list that Justin just gave out?
I would think so. I mean, any championship is worth it.
Yeah, but he's saying that Antetokounmpo, if Antetokounmpo wins a ring this year with the Bucks, his ring is going to mean more than it did when LeBron James won a ring, when Kawhi won a ring, and Kevin Durant. So would you say that this ring for Antetokounmpo would mean more?
I would think so. I mean, it's still early in his career. LeBron kind of won it late in his career.
Don't come on here and talk. Do not make this a LeBron thing right now, please.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. Dude,
I would rather have you come on here and talk for 10 straight minutes about Dirk Nowitzki. Okay. Please don't make this a LeBron thing.
And Dirk Nowitzki was the man. Oh, you can't take anything away from freaking Dirk. Okay.
Right. No, I agree. I'm just saying that you're just hearing the list. There's a trend of players winning a championship late in their career. It's still a little early in Giannis's.
Absolutely. I'm not disagreeing with that. No, I'm not disagreeing with that part at all, Chris. Not at all. And I'll give Justin one thing because he just brought it up. Giannis's ring will mean more because he was stayed and was loyal to his city. Justin,
that's true.
I won't even deny that one for you. Because if Kawhi had stayed in San Antonio, we would have won the championship that year. He was the best player in basketball for the season that he won the championship. If he had been in San Antonio, we'd have won that year too. He wasn't, and he won it in Toronto. I will give you that. That one instance, Giannis's will mean more than Kawhi's. Yes.
And just think, when Kawhi actually won that ring in San Antonio, it was baby Kawhi. Because and what I mean by baby Kawhi is he was still young. So he technically wasn't at that full-blown superstar state yet. And I'll tell you, I think if he would have stayed with San Antonio, they might have been able to win maybe a few more. I don't know. But the problem is now is we're looking at the league now, and we're not looking at loyalty. That is the biggest thing. So that's one thing right now. Even Giannis at this young state, he still hasn't been around for, a long time. But when you look at Giannis, he could have walked instead of, signing an extension with the Bucks. But he did. But he could have walked away. So I do give Giannis credit on that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot to be said for loyalty. And so I hope he brings the ring to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I'm not denying that at all. I hope he brings a ring home for Milwaukee. And he'll forever be remembered in Milwaukee. He brings a ring home for Milwaukee, and I don't care if he does another thing for the rest of his career. He is a top 5 player, a top 5 Bucks player for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
So,
If he brings a ring home, for sure.
It's been a while since they won a championship.
Yeah, and, 74, 75?
I don't think it's been that long.
I think it has been.
Yeah,
it has been that long.
It's been a long time.
The last time they won it was with Kareem. It's been that long.
Yeah, it's been a long time, dude. Yeah, it's been a long time. The Suns have actually never won one. So no matter who wins the series, it's going to be rightfully deserved because neither of these teams have done it for. The Suns have never done it, and the Bucks haven't done it in a very, very long time. So. Before we jump into our next topic, let me give you a little bit of score updates here. So for MLB, so today you had the Atlanta Braves knock off the Tampa Bay Rays 9-0 today. They just kind of put a thrashing on the Tampa Bay Rays. You have the Milwaukee Brewers that are currently in the bottom of the 11th. They are beating the Cincinnati Reds 7-4. You have the LA Angels that are beating the Seattle Mariners in the top of the 9th, 9-4. You have the Detroit Tigers who managed to beat the Minnesota Twins 1-0. So there's another one of J-Mac's teams. And then you have the Cleveland Indians.
I gotta say, in baseball, I hate 1-0 games more than anything.
Yeah.
Right.
How do you get 20? You're a professional baseball player. You're paid to play baseball. How do you get at least 3 at-bats a game and not be able to... So you get 27 guys up in 9 innings. How are you not able, out of 27 guys, to put one? To put up one when you're a professional baseball team.
Yeah,
That one always drives me crazy. I always hate 1-0 games. It just drives me crazy.
So then after that, we have the Cleveland Indians who beat the Oakland Athletics 3-2. You have the Chicago Cubs who beat the Diamondbacks. They beat them 4-2. And the Diamondbacks yet again are on another losing streak, just so everybody knows. They're kicking off the second half of the season with another losing streak. The Miami Marlins and the Philadelphia Phillies, that game was suspended, but it was tied at 2. It's going to resume on July 18th at 1:05, so tomorrow. Then the Tigers beat the Minnesota Twins again, 5-4. Then the Pittsburgh Pirates managed to knock off the New York Mets 9-7, and if they
I loved it.
And if they beat the Mets tomorrow, they will do a clean sweep over the New York Mets, and the Pittsburgh Pirates might get that clean sweep. And then, of course, the Padres and Nationals game suspended because of the shooting outside of Washington. So prayers go out there for all those lives that were affected over there in Washington. And
Senseless.
Yeah,
It's just,
I pray that everybody stays safe and
I'm sorry, it's just senseless. No, wherever you stand on gun control, I believe in our amendment rights. I believe in the Second Amendment. I think that's what everyone should have. But when you get guys like this, it's just senseless. It's just senseless. That's all it is. It's some idiot that decided that he wasn't having a good day and he wanted to take it out on other people. And so, please don't let this be your next debate about why we need to take guns away. Just know that 99.9% of us gun owners are not those people. So,
no, you're completely right. But now we're going to go ahead and jump into Baltimore ended up beating the Kansas City Royals 8-4. The New York Yankees knocked off the Boston Red Sox 3-1. The Chicago White Sox beat the Houston Astros 10-1. The St. Louis Cardinals beat the Giants 3-1, and the Dodgers beat the Rockies 9-2. And then the Rangers and Toronto game was postponed. So those are your scores from today around the MLB. So, J-Mac, we're going to jump over to you. Was there a topic that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I'm going to talk all about all the MLS finals today and what's going on there in the standings. But before I do that, I got to ask Chris P. Bacon. Do you want to hear a joke?
Sure.
Arizona Diamondbacks.
True.
Yeah, true. All right, let's get into the MLS here. I'll give you all the finals, and then we'll go through the standings, and we'll see what's going on there. So, finals for today in the MLS. Vancouver beat the LA Galaxy 2-1. And then in the MLS, we have Portland beating FC Dallas 1-0. They beat them in 90 plus 5. 5 minutes of stoppage time in this game. They hit the goal with about 13 seconds before it would have went to a shootout. So a very exciting finish there between Portland and FC Dallas. Sorry, Chris. New England beat Atlanta 1-0. CF Montreal beat FC Cincinnati 5-4. That's a high scoring game. 5-4 in MLS. Damn. Columbus beat NYCFC 2-1. Philadelphia beat DC United 2-1. Toronto FC and Orlando is a 1-1 draw. Nashville and Chicago. Nashville beat Chicago 5-1. That's destroying someone in soccer. 5-1. Colorado and San Jose, they ran around for a little bit and they ended up with 1 goal apiece, so 1-1. LAFC and Real Salt Lake. LAFC comes out on top of that one, 2-1. And then the New York Red Bulls and International Miami was postponed. But if we go over to look at standings and where everyone is right now as far as the tables go, because they're called tables, not standings in soccer, as we all remember. New England is winning in the Eastern Conference. They're 8-3-3. They have 27 points. They have a 6-point lead over Orlando, who is 6-3-3, and again has 21 points. So they're leading for the first place in the Eastern Conference. To go down to the bottom, you have Toronto FC, who's already out of playoff contention. They are 19 points behind. They have 2 wins on the year. They're 2-8-2. Comparison to the end. Then in the Western Conference, you have the Seattle Sounders, who have still not lost a game this year. They still have not lost a game. 13 games into the season, and they are 8-0-5. That's insane. They have 29 points. They're 3 points up on Sporting KC, who's a surprise team this year. No one saw them being as good as they are. They're 8-3-2. They have 26 points.
I
know. I don't want to hear it. I know. And then at the bottom in the Western Conference, let's see. For all of our Portland fans, they're sitting in 9th place right now. They are 4-6-1 with 13 points, so 16 points off the lead. And unfortunately, in last place in the Western Conference is my Vancouver Whitecaps. They are 2-7-3. They have 9 points, and it doesn't look very good for them. They're 20 points out of first place right now.
So Portland's looking on the outside. On the outside looking in pretty much.
Portland is looking on the outside at this moment. And I just want to point out, by the way, that we have this year a chance for Philadelphia, who's played really well. Their goalie, and Andre Blake, has 6 clean sheets this year. 6 in a season already. That's about half over. So he is on pace to be up there as far as the leaders for a season in clean sheets. Goals are led currently by Chicharito for the LA Galaxy. He has 10 goals and 10 goals as well for Seattle's Raul Diaz. He has 10 goals as well. So those are your goal leaders at this point. Assist leaders, the New England Revolution, Charles Gill leads with 7 assists. So those are your leaders. Those are your tables. That's what's going on in the MLS. There's your MLS update.
Yeah, so let me mention this about soccer, okay? Because when some people watch soccer, because I played soccer in high school, and so when people talk about soccer, people will be like, how hard can soccer be? Well, let me tell you what, it's a very challenging sport because it's not like you don't get a lot of breaks in soccer. And what I mean by that is like, in baseball, you might be on the base paths and, but once you reach second base, you kind of get a little bit of a breather to catch your breath. In football, you might play offense and you get that little bit of a break to go sit on the bench. In soccer, you really don't get that true break, man. You're out on that field a lot. And at some point you're like, man, so you don't really get a lot of time to catch your breath. And it's
I'll say you don't get a lot of time to catch your breath unless you were the goalie on the other team against Ace's team in high school because
right.
When the other team always has the ball on the other side, you don't have to do much.
Yeah, we did not spend we did not spend a lot of time on our opponent's side of the field. Let me tell you that. That was something that we generally did not do. Our games were generally not close.
That's the understatement of the year.
Yeah, and I knew J-Mac would say that. A lot of times when we would go into halftime in a soccer game, we'd be roughly losing about 5 or 6 to nothing. Generally, I mean,
when you have a soccer coach walk into your halftime and go, "Well, guys, I don't know, go out there and try not to give up 15 goals today,"
or be like, "I know
like that was his
but play hard."
Right, that was his inspirational speech at halftime. Try not to go out there and give up 10 goals in the second half.
Yeah, that's what it would be.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Just real quick, catch everyone up. By the way, on the Gold Cup over in overseas, you got Grenada that was blanked against Qatar 4-0, and Honduras beat Panama 3-2. For Honduras, it's just their third. It's just their third time in the Gold Cup, by the way. And they are 2-0 and they lead Group 1. So they have done a phenomenal job with putting their teams in there. Tomorrow you have a bunch of games going on. You got the United States and Canada. That's the one that everyone probably wants to watch. Canada will probably beat us tomorrow. I will just call that now. Canada will probably beat the United States. That's at 2 p.m. if anyone wants to watch. Guatemala and Trinidad and Tobago square off tomorrow. And Mexico and El Salvador square off, along with Martinique and Haiti as well square off in the Gold Cup tomorrow. So there is your complete soccer update for the day.
Yeah, and the only other thing that I have for you in the MLB to go along with that is talking about Jacob deGrom. We all know that he last pitched on July 7th because yet again he left the game with injury again. Well, I just got the update today. He was throwing a bullpen session, and he actually had to quit the bullpen session again today because he felt a little bit of forearm tightness again. So he had a setback. So he was scheduled to start Monday. He will not be starting Monday again. He's going to be back out again. So
real quick before we move on to the next topic, got to say, don't forget, go to YouTube, like our page, subscribe. You'll get put in for I'm sorry, man. I just stumbled over my words. You'll be put in for a prize package at the end of the month. The drawing will be on July 31st. Anyone that subs in there gets their name in the drawing. You get a chance. We might give away 2 or 3 of these things. We got a bunch of stuff. But here it is. Here's the Coast to Coast keychain. These look pretty nice. They got a little tassel on the end of them. And then you got some phone holders at this point. These things pop out. They're like the pop sockets. We got those. We got some other great stuff. That's 2 of the things we got to give away. I don't want to reveal everything right now, which you'll get in that prize package, but that's 2 of the little things that you'll get in there. And so just make sure you do that, please.
All right, so Chris, this is going to come to you. Do you want to give everybody an update on some of the other things around the world, like the IFL and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, there's one championship going on tonight, and that Omaha Beef we were talking about won their indoor championship in their league, so they're champions. And their Champion Bowl 6. They had 6 of them so far, so. But it was their first win. It was their first win, but in the league it was their 6th championship, like Super Bowl. So
okay,
that's pretty much it. And then the Olympics start Friday.
Yes, the Olympics start Friday. I don't know how many people are going to be really excited to watch the Olympics. I think this year it's going to be a little different. I don't know. It's to me personally, the first thing I'll tell you about the Olympics is I've never been like a huge Olympics guy. I don't know why. It's just when the Olympics come around, I don't really watch a lot of it. And it doesn't matter if it's summer or winter. I just haven't really been a big Olympics guy.
Oh, there's a couple of things in the Olympics I watch. I ain't gonna lie to you. Beach volleyball, women's beach volleyball. I'm watching women's beach volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt.
Especially if it's like Misty May Trainer and people like that.
Yeah, no doubt. Watching that. Women's tennis can be kind of exciting sometimes. They're hitting the ball back and forth, and it's like,
I know, right? I was thinking that with tennis, it's
who wins tomorrow in the golf major? When will we see cornhole in the Olympics? Brandon wants to know. Well, I'll tell you what. If I had anything to do with it, it'd be in the Olympics now. And if it was in the Olympics now, I could tell you that myself and Ace would be the sponsored team for Coast to Coast for sure.
Yeah. So going back to that golf major really, really quick. Since you want to know who I think is going to win, I'll tell you right now. I know that Spaeth right now is down by 3 strokes. I know he's down by 3. He's currently shooting a 9 under to Usathon. I hate to pronounce his name. I don't want to blow it, but it's such a hard name to pronounce. But I know he's down by, but I know he's down by 3 strokes. But I'm still going to go with Spaeth. Spaeth has been one of my favorites forever. Him and Scheffler, but Scheffler's a little farther behind. I think he's down by 5 strokes right now. But actually, he's down 4. Sorry, because Uthon is at 12 under. Scheffler's at 8 under. So I'm going to go with Spaeth. I'm going to say that Spaeth is going to manage to is going to be able to catch up with the 3 strokes, and he's going to come home the victor. But all right. So going back to Brandon, where he's talking about, should cornhole be in the Olympics? I don't know. Yeah, I think it'd be pretty cool. I think for anybody who's talking about the whole, maybe the USA basketball team winning this year, that's not happening. I mean, come on, we lost.
Hold on, no, I gotta go back to Brandon's comment for a minute. When will we see cornhole in the Olympics? We can have cornhole in the Olympics now. We have freaking handball and curling in the Olympics. But you're telling me that cornhole isn't one of those games for the Olympics. It's still an exciting game.
Okay, what about bowling? They've been trying to push that too, but
I think bowling should be in the Olympics. That's just what I think.
bowling, spike ball. There's many different things that should definitely be out there. But cornhole is one of especially the bigger ones, because it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes along. But I don't hold on here. So we have thoughts on Pac-Man versus Spence boxing fight. Who wins the fight? Hold on, we will get back to that in a minute. But J Mac, you were saying something about. I think you were saying something about cornhole in the Olympics.
Well, like I was saying, I mean, we got all these other sports in the Olympics that you're like, is that really an Olympic sport? Is that something that we should be rooting for our country for? And then we got cornhole, which can swing on a dime if you can drop four straight in. So,
but they even have badminton.
Yes, correct. They have badminton, so you can use your racket and hit a shuttlecock around the room. So when
that should be a word on roundtable, by the way, for definition.
Shuttlecock, yes. So going back to the whole basketball thing.
Speaking of that, I like how Dragon Viper stole all my answers.
So going back to
you just ignore that one.
Exactly. So going back to the Olympics here, if people are talking about the USA basketball team winning the medal, I'm telling you now, it's not happening. Come on, we lost to freaking Nigeria.
But those guys are like 7 feet tall. All of them. You just hold the ball up. You just hold the ball up, and they're like,
Nigeria? Are you kidding me? Nigeria?
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, they speak Swahili, so it's like. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying though, it's like it's crazy. There's no freaking way that we should have lost to Nigeria, and there's no way with because Bradley Beal is now no longer on the USA team. Kevin Love is no longer on the USA team. Now it's been replaced by Keldon Johnson from.
I saw that, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I saw that. Really? I'm a San Antonio fan, and I saw that Keldon Johnson going to the United States team, and I'm like, whoa, man. This is the best guy we could find. This kid was so inconsistent this year. Honestly, all of us San Antonio fans, we call him Mr. Inconsistency. He'll go out, I mean, he can go out, and he'll give you 30 points and 14 rebounds in a game without a problem. Then the next game he comes back, he shoots 2 for 18 from the floor, gives you 6 points and gets 3 rebounds because he gets out. The kid is inconsistent. I don't know why we put him on the U.S. team.
I have no idea, but I'll tell you, when I saw that too, my reaction was the exact same thing. I'm like, really? Keldon Johnson? You're telling me that out of the whole entire NBA, you can't find anybody else to go on the USA team?
Justin, I would rather have picked them. I would rather have JaVale McGee on the U.S. team.
It's just you have Keldon freaking Johnson.
I mean, that's like lining up the '98 Bulls team that won the finals. That's like lining them all up. You got Pippen, you got Jordan, you got Rodman, you got Kerr, and who was their fifth starter? Or was it B.J. Armstrong? Anyway, their fifth starter. That's like lining all of them up, lining all of them up.
Yeah.
Lining all of them up and going, give me Kerr.
Or Paxton. Let's not forget about Paxton.
Yeah. Or give me Bill Paxton.
You have Longley, Paxton, Kerr, Kukoc, Pippen, Rodman, Jordan. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna go and go with Paxton. Or
no, you know what? You know, be worse than that. Give me Bill Cartwright.
Oh right, yeah, but it's so. I am actually very intrigued that you, being a San Antonio fan, is one that's also saying you were shocked that Keldon Johnson was selected.
Even on our own team.
Yeah,
like that's what I was. I'm like, wait, you had a roster of 15 guys on a team, and you landed on Keldon Johnson. He's not even the best player on our team.
No,
how did he end up on the United States team?
I mean, I would probably take Patty Mills over Keldon Johnson.
I take Patty Mills. I would take. Oh man, I just lost the kid's name. I would take White over him. I would
DeRozan?
take. I would take DeRozan. I would take Pietol over him. I mean, what in the hell? We can't let it Keldon Johnson. It's like they took the 15 names, put them on a dartboard, and went, oh, I guess we're taking Johnson.
Yeah, it's like putting darts on the map, or looking at the map, going, "Where are we
I
going? Who are we taking?"
I guarantee you, Greg Popovich got that call, and he's like, "What do you think about Keldon Johnson on the U.S. team?" He probably said, "I don't want spam calls. Stop calling me," and hung up the phone.
All right, so we have a few comments here. So even Brandon is saying, Brandon is saying USA won't even medal. They're saying they won't even medal. I think that they'll medal, but they're not winning the gold. They won't. There's no way that they will win the gold at all. And Brandon is. They'll
Bronze.
take third. Yeah, they'll take third. They'll take the bronze. They're definitely not going to win it. And Brandon Herrera saying, I would take Randy Cox over Keldon Johnson.
I can't. I mean, man, I don't even know what to say. Okay, but let me just tell you how bad I think that pick is. By the way, I could not stand LaMarcus Aldridge for San Antonio because he didn't want to be there, and he played like he didn't want to be there. I would have picked Aldridge before I ever would have looked at Keldon Johnson.
Yeah,
I would have picked Blake Griffin on the Pistons before I picked up Keldon Johnson.
But he's no longer on the Pistons anymore, though.
No, I know, but when he was on the Pistons,
right? It's yeah. I get it. There's so many. Our best player on the Pistons so far this year was Jeremiah Grant, and I would have actually looked at Jeremiah Grant and said, hey, you know what? Jeremiah Grant, you go out and play for Keldon Johnson.
Pretty much.
Trey Young, Zion. I mean,
Zion should be on the USA team, but Zion's kind of overrated. I'm not gonna lie. He's kind of overrated.
Morant. Jean Morant.
Jean Morant's a great player. I got nothing bad to say about Jean Morant. Trey Young, he went out and he did it. He played his game. He pushed it to the end. How do you say anything bad about a guy who took the Hawks to the Eastern Conference Finals?
I know, right?
You can't. And who would have thought, by the way, I got to say, if you're an Atlanta sports fan, who would have thought that of the 4 teams you have in Atlanta, that the Hawks would be the best team?
Yeah.
I don't think, as an Atlanta fan, I don't think you would have saw that.
All the Atlanta fans are going, they didn't blow a lead. Like they had the lead, they had the game, and then they let it go.
Yeah, did you hear about Bill? Did you hear about Bill Belichick's ring from that Super Bowl? By the way,
no.
He put 283 diamonds on his ring.
28-3.
Yeah. It was a 28-3 thing. Definitely, yeah. That's what they were doing. They were trying to do the whole 28-3. We came back from 28-3 down, and that's pretty much what it was. So, J-Mac, I know the last thing I wanted to mention to you, because I know you've never been a fan of the guy, so I'm going to let you know right now. I was going to message you the other day when he finally announced it, but I'm like, I'm going to wait. But Kyle Busch came out and said he's officially going to walk away from NASCAR.
Aww.
I don't really believe in God, but man, there must be one today.
I knew he would be happy about that.
Oh, man.
I told him he was going to walk away. He's like,
I don't think I've been so happy about a player retiring from a sport, since I can't even tell you the last time. I can't even tell you the last time I've been so happy about that. Maybe since Bobby Bonilla retired from baseball and still gets paid till 2035. I don't know.
Yeah, but I know this for you is good news. Like,
man. We don't have to hear from Crybaby Bush anymore. The guy never was my favorite guy. And I couldn't stand Tony Stewart, by the way. But I would have sat in a room for hours on end to listening to Tony Stewart's voice over and over and over and over again before I ever saw Kyle Busch on the TV again.
Just wait till he's in the broadcast booth.
No.
The hell?
No.
Okay, so any of you networks that want to pick up Kyle Busch to be your commentator for NASCAR, let me just tell you right now, if you want exactly 0 people to watch your broadcast, please sign him.
That'd be Fox.
Fox, yeah. So, so Justin is saying Kyle Busch was a good driver, and Brandon was actually shocked that he's like, wait, no more Busch. And then Justin saying that Jimmy Johnson was the GOAT in NASCAR. No, I can't.
He was
I can't
a good driver,
say that.
yeah.
He was a good driver, but Jimmy Johnson was definitely not the GOAT when it came to NASCAR. I can tell you that. And so Brandon's saying, so NASCAR will be clean shaven. And then Justin saying Dale Earnhardt Jr. sucks at broadcasting. Broadcasting isn't...
He's better than Kyle Busch.
There's so many people out there that are better than Kyle Busch. Not everybody's made for broadcasting. Not everyone is made for it.
I agree, but it seems like
Because
athletes that retire...
They try broadcasting, but look at some players who people didn't like as football players, but they're brilliant as broadcasters. And one
Tony
is
Romo.
Yes.
Tony
I'll tell
Romo.
you,
I would sign up tomorrow, and I could not stand Tony Romo as a player. I hated that cox. I'm glad I didn't finish that, but I could not stand him as a player. But I will tell you what, if he had broadcasting school tomorrow and it cost $500 and you had to find your own airfare to get there, I would be there tomorrow to learn how to broadcast like that guy. That guy is amazing. Tony Romo is the best broadcaster of our generation. The next Al Michaels, in my opinion.
like that dude was a flat out find when they signed him. Like everybody was like, "Is he going to be good?" And then he came in, and the first time I heard him announce, I'm like, "This guy's going to be." I was like, "He's amazing!"
Mm-hmm.
And so every game, every Packer game, I'm like, "Please, I want him. I want him as a broadcaster because I want to sit there and listen to him every game. He's so good."
Yeah.
God, he's so much better than Joe Buck and Troy Gaikman.
I was going to say, I'd rather listen to Romo than Aikman.
I'm sorry, but when you can sit there and you're like, all right, so if they get up there, they're going to have about 22 seconds when they get the ball and spike it. And it's exactly 22 seconds. You're like, dude, sign me up. Like, this guy is so brilliant.
And he calls the play before it happens. Yeah, they're going to probably go out there and run a screen because the linebacker's going to drop down and they're going to run a screen, and then they do it, and you're like, are you kidding me? Really?
Now, that tells you something because he was not drafted. So he was an undrafted free agent out of Northern Illinois. And
that was Eastern Illinois.
Eastern Illinois, excuse me. Whatever. Northern, Eastern, doesn't matter.
Sure.
Anyway, Eastern Illinois, right? Which means he had to work harder than anyone else on that field to prove that he belonged there. And so that he saw every defense. And the guy has probably the best. He's got better numbers than Aikman does in his career.
Mm-hmm. He does.
But have we ever talked about Tony Romo making the Hall of Fame? Ever? Anyone ever mention it?
No, absolutely.
No one mentions it, but he has better numbers than Troy Aikman.
Yeah,
I'm here to tell you, Dallas, Tony Romo was a better quarterback for you than Troy Aikman was.
But the only reason I brought up Romo is because we're talking about broadcasting, and so I'm completely with you. I think Tony Romo should give out like tips on broadcasting.
I would like that.
Rings aren't everything, Brandon Herrera.
They're not, but
No.
We are there.
Look at Phillip Rivers. He played good. He didn't have a.
Yeah, we'll have that conversation another day.
No, I know.
Yeah, absolutely, because we are at that hour mark. So with that, J-Mac, you got 30, 45 seconds to go ahead and wrap up whatever it is you want to say.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to go like our YouTube page, subscribe, get yourself into that prize package. Tomorrow we have Between the Ropes. Monday you're going to have a whole lineup of shows. I believe Cooking with Jody is on Monday. And then, of course, you have the Four Bros radio show and our new logo. You will see our new logo on Monday night for the Four Bros radio show. And we will, again, give you our motto that we've all adopted there and give you that. And, of course, I'll be joined by Chris P. Bacon.
So Christy Wilson is saying that Romo makes NFL on CBS broadcast so much fun.
Well, I mean, just his football knowledge and Jim Nance, the way Jim Nance can make 3-yard screen pass seem like it just won the Super Bowl. Those two guys together, CBS hands down has the best broadcast team. Hands down.
Yeah, I like it how Romo will be like, timeout, take a timeout, and then the team is like, I'm calling a timeout, and it's like he knows it's happening before it happens. He's like screaming, you got to call timeout here. You got to call timeout.
Yeah.
But Crispy Bacon, this one is coming to you. You got 30, 45 seconds to wrap up whatever it is you got to say.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week for another Sports Minute on a Saturday. Next one is on Wednesday. New lineup. Make sure to tune in this week. And tomorrow is Between the Ropes, where we recap the Money in the Bank. And then also on Monday is the Sanitarium with special guest Butterbean.
Butterbean. Yes, Butterbean will be on that show. So I hope everybody has a fantastic night. I hope you enjoyed our episode of Sports Minute. And we will always catch you again on Wednesday for another edition of Sports Minute. So we will see you later. Out.
Oh, my God. Jeff Van Gundy. Oh, Jesus.